Viewer beware, you're in for a scare.
This podcast is not suitable for children or those who are easily disturbed. Spoiler warning for whatever is in the title of this episode.
And now for the obligatory socials. Please like, share and subscribe. You can find the podcast on Twitter at HorrorPod69. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Slasher and Goodreads. Become part of the Disturbed community by asking for the Facebook group and Discord links. Send dick pics to the Horror of Babylon podcast at gmail.com. Support the show at patreon.com/thehorrorofbabylon. In closing, you can let your friends know that The Horror of Babylon is available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible and all other major podcast apps.
Welcome to episode 142 of The Horror of Babylon, where we are finally reviewing The Haunted Mask 2 by R.L. Stine. I am Ryan, and with me as always is Daniel. Say hi, Daniel.
I'm a wrinkly old man.
You are. Here,
that's at least what everyone on Tinder says.
Do they also say, I need chocolate and vanilla cookies. It's a symbol of love. My mom bought me cookies.
Yeah, but the joke I'd make would be super inappropriate, so I'm going to skip over it.
And speaking of super inappropriate, thank you to our patrons, including Abigail the First, Breaker of Chains, Mother of Dragons, and
Logan,
the Full Metal Patron. We forgot how to do this. This is the first episode we've recorded in about so hold on, I can actually
almost
say,
a month.
August 23rd, so it's just a few days short of a full month.
Okay.
And that's by far the longest.
I had to put on my glasses to see who came next.
So Logan, the Full Metal. Logan, the Full Metal Patron. And Ben, the fourth Patron of Hope. And Mia the fifth, the Rainmaker.
She makes it rain.
Oh, she makes it rain. And Sierra the sixth, the Keyblade Patron. And thank you to Four Horsemen Comics and Gaming, which you can visit at, well, actually you can't. They're closing up shop, but if you want to steal any of their leftover merchandise, you can sneak into their basement at night.
I would never go in Ron's basement. You could not pay me. I'd go down there and it would just be Blade 3 posters.
It's just the Blade Trinity shrine. He
just has Ryan Reynolds in a corner.
I was watching Wolverine and Deadpool. I was like, wow, I haven't seen Wesley Snipes and Ryan Reynolds in a movie together since Blade Trinity. I was gonna make a joke. Okay, but for real, you can visit them at the Morgantown Mall in Morgantown, West Virginia, the Mall at Robinson in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You can shop online at fourhorsemen.tcgplayerpro.com. And if you make it in the store, say hello to Ronald III, Grampus of Christmas.
I need to add something to my pull list. Remind me to tell you. You
can do it now through their website.
There's a website?
Well, yes.
Yeah.
So this just started like this coming week.
Ooh.
So, okay, I don't know my password off the top of my head, but so you should have gotten an email with registration instructions.
I might have deleted it.
But when you go to the website fourhorsemen.tcgplayerpro.com and sign in, and then there's like a subscriptions page, and you can go and manage your subscriptions, and you can add stuff, drop stuff, you can request specific covers, and you can even set a backup. There's like, if this cover is not available, I want this cover.
Okay.
It's really cool.
I might have to have someone walk me through that later because I definitely
Yeah.
deleted that. I'm looking through my emails now. I mass delete things because I get so much junk mail.
I can log into mine and we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah, we got distracted. Sorry.
Ordering comics has never been easier. Trigger warning, bullying,
Old people.
old people, and little kids.
Girls that are no longer afraid of you. If that triggers you.
Yeah. It does not trigger me. Our history with the Haunted Mask 2. This one is actually pretty nostalgic for me because we had this one, the audiobook for this, on cassette tape, along with Attack of the Mutant and A Shocker on Shock Street, and we listened to them to and from school constantly. I've probably technically read this book over 20 times.
I've never read this one before, but I did watch the episode. And I would always watch the 2 movies back to back on VHS all the time.
I'm not sure I've seen the TV episode, but
yeah.
Okay, so let's jump into covers. Again, this one,
my favorite portion of this.
This one does not have as many either, but there are a few. Starting with the original cover by art by Tim Jacobus, I love it.
Yeah,
I think it's not an S tier of the like old Goosebumps. I about said Goosebumps.
The good old Goosebumps.
Goosebumps. I love me some Goosebumps. But I think it's really solid.
Nah, yeah, I'd say it's like high B, mid A.
And I love it when the color scheme that they choose for the title, which is oranges and blue, works with the actual colors used in the art, because the porch, the pumpkins, the t-shirt are all orange, and then the blue jeans and the background's all blue. And
some covers use color theory way better than others, and this is a good one.
Yeah, and it just makes that green mask like really pop, because everything else is green, or is orange or blue.
Yep.
And then the American reprint cover.
Not a fan.
I think it's one of the better ones.
It's one of the but like
it's just not as good.
Yeah. I get like witch mask. I don't get like doddering old man from this.
Yeah, that the same. It looked like it does have like kind of the scab on the forehead, but that's it. It looks like the Wicked Witch from The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, and the OG cover really does sort of impart that I am a helpless old man in pain look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
So.
Side note, it's hilarious that the cover says now a major motion picture. It says that on all of the Goosebumps books that were printed at that point. It's like, I know you know what they mean. There's a Goosebumps movie, but The Haunted Mask 2 is not a major motion picture. It's like,
I think you could do The Haunted Mask 1 as one.
Actually, we're going to discuss that in background.
Oh, okay.
All right. And here is the French Mask. And let's actually rewind real quick. So for the UK one, the British one, they just took the original art and they put that like bubbly stuff around it that they all have.
Yeah.
So that's weird. But okay, so back to the French one.
If you had told me this was an AI cover, I would have believed you.
I think it's a very literal translation of how the mask is described.
Yeah, that's like if you put it into like one of those AI prompts, I think this is what you would get.
Yeah, it's true to the description in the book, but it looks like crap.
Looks very off.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to whoever made this cover. I just don't like it.
Yeah. Here's and this is the second French cover, which I don't think
that can. I also think AI has ruined me because like when you put the prompts in, sometimes you get some. I don't know if you've ever played with it.
Yeah.
But sometimes you get some random nonsense. Mm-hmm. And there it is. There's a spider in between two screaming people.
At least this first one, I know what it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But this is like, is this the same book? Like,
is that a goblin?
Yeah.
Did they go to Goblin Town?
This looks like one of the ogres from Yu Yu Hakusho who work for Koema. Is this Carly Beth? Is she about to either tongue kiss this ogre or eat that spider?
She's gonna kiss the old man mask.
Ooh. And the Korean cover.
That's not bad.
Yeah. It's like who is like stroking? I assume this is
it's the shopkeeper.
Steve. Yeah. He's doing like that backhanded like sexy stroke across the face to Steve.
Do you want one of my masks? I'm wearing a cape.
I love that they mention the cape in this one, too. Why is he wearing a cape?
The vampire's a pure myth, superstition. I may be able to bring you proof that the superstition of yesterday can become the scientific reality of today.
So let's go to background. This book was, of course, written by R.L. Stine. It was published in October of 1995. It's Goosebumps number 36 of the original series. It's the second of 4 Haunted Mask books. The third one is The Scream of the Haunted Mask, which was published in 2008. And Carly Beth is the protagonist of that book.
I'll have to read it then.
Yeah. And then the fourth one is Goosebumps Wanted, the Haunted Mask, which was published in 2012. I couldn't find... I didn't look very hard, but I couldn't find a summary on it. I don't know if... I think it would be amazing if that one also continues the continuity in some way, but if it does, I want to read both of them. This book has 3 adaptations. 1996 audiobook that was abridged, which is the one I was talking about. A 2024 audiobook, which is unabridged. And then it was episodes 11 and 12 of season 2 of the original Goosebumps television series. And R.L. Stine is quoted as saying that he would like to see a film adaptation of The Haunted Mask, or even a film that combines the stories of The Haunted Mask and The Haunted Mask 2.
Yeah, I want that.
Yes, I want.
And that's that. Another story in the classic, infallible 3-act structure. Good enough for Aristotle, good enough for The Simpsons.
Mr. Sislak, I have a feeling there's going to be one more act to this story.
Well, I'm not hanging around for that. 4 acts.
Structure and themes. How weird is it to have an actual sequel with real continuity?
Okay, so I have almost like 15 minutes left on Night of the Living Dummy 3.
Mm-hmm.
And all I can think is, these books are literally all just the same book.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be better if there was some continuity and like escalating stakes or something.
Yeah.
And kind of get it here. Is it still sort of the same story? Yes. But at least you get like some characters from the previous one, some character growth, there's some differences.
So I wrote in my notes, second verse, same as the first. Yes, like how we were complaining with Night of the Living Dummy 2, The Haunted Mask 2 is essentially the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also kind of the completion of a cycle.
Yeah.
Because it's... the first one is Carly Beth's revenge story. And then this is the revenge story of the people that she wanted to have revenge on from the first one.
Yeah.
And it's also... It's... I like this book. It's not as good as the first one, but it kind of has an additional theme that the first one didn't have, and that's not learning your lessons.
Yeah.
Like, because that's exactly what Chuck and Steve do or don't do.
I will get into it when we get into characters.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
So let's go to characters, and let's talk mostly about Steve, but a little bit about Chuck.
It is so hard for me to feel sorry for these two because they didn't learn anything. And even though they're like, Carly Beth never gets scared anymore. Hey, let's still try to scare her because that's the only way we can get off.
Yeah.
So like he's being punished for like a prank, and he's having to coach like these little shits.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting there going, good. You put a worm in a little girl's sandwich. You should have been being punished way harsher than this for way longer.
Yeah. I think they get their just desserts. I sympathize a little bit because they're kids, but mostly I think, it's a karma thing. What goes around comes around, and Steve, not even Chuck. Like Chuck kind of gets off scot-free with the ending of the book aside, but Steve is getting like what he gave to Carly Beth, and he's getting it back from the warthogs.
Yep.
So I think it's funny, and I like the cyclical themes, and I like the continuity of the characters, and I like seeing that Carly Beth has matured and is a more confident person.
I feel like if you lived through something like that, it would be hard to scare you after that.
Yeah.
I had a living mask grafted to my face. I'm not scared of boos from corners anymore.
And maybe in the third book, we'll see that Chuck and Steve are better people.
Yeah.
I'm not holding my breath.
I loved when Steve tried to Carly Beth, and her dad was all like, "Who's this old man calling my daughter at like on Halloween at like midnight?"
No way. Get the hell out.
You have a daughter. What would you do?
I would hang up on their ass.
Yeah. I'm like, why is an old man trying to contact my teenage daughter?
I remember listening to that as a kid and being so insanely frustrated and just not being able to see the dad's point of view. It was like, he needs help. He needs Carly Beth to help him.
It's the Malcolm in the Middle syndrome. Once you're an adult, you understand where the adults are coming from.
Yep.
I just want to talk to your little girl.
Fuck no. Get the hell out of here, you creep. Are you the guy who owns that Halloween store? Get the hell out of here. So I don't have him on here, but the store owner, he's used a lot less in this one.
Yeah. It's almost like a bit part. He cameos.
Yeah, which I think works. I think if they over-explained him more and gave him more of a background, which I wouldn't be surprised if they do that in one of the other sequels, but...
This is me, like, being a grown-ass adult and over-analyzing a children's story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Halloween shops usually only open around Halloween, like Spirit of Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
His store is closing on Halloween. Did he have the store open this whole time throughout the year and wonder why he's not making money?
I'm pretty sure it's a party supply store.
Okay.
That also has Halloween
stuff. Okay,
yeah.
That makes more sense. That was what I was thinking the whole time. Is I'm sitting there going, how did you stay open so long?
Yeah, well, if he couldn't make it back in the 90s, he sure wouldn't make it in... Never mind. The Warthogs, I think it was... I can't believe... I don't believe for a second that they thought of this and pulled it off. But when they had him kick the cement ball, I thought that was fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
He should have, like, broken, like, every bone in his foot, too.
So my mom and my nephew recently cleaned out our basement and like had a bunch of garbage bags like by our house, and I went to set them out.
Mm-hmm.
And I lifted one of them up, and Ryan knows about like my weightlifting and stuff, knows about how much I can lift. I could barely lift one of them because in our basement we had bags of cement that hardened because of all the rain that went in there. And they put them in garbage bags, I guess, carried them up and I'm like, I don't know if the garbage is gonna take this, because I had to like squat, lift with my legs to carry them over. They took them, but that's what I think of as just like you put random rocks in something. Like you smack someone with your purse and you're like, what's in this, bricks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Emma's backpack, like, she has so many textbooks and so many notebooks in there. It's like, I'm not allowed to lift her backpack right now. It's over my limit. Ugh. Okay. And Sabrina was there.
The teenage witch.
Kill you all! I'll drive you crazy and I'll kill you all! I'm every nightmare you ever had. I am your worst dream come true. I'm everything you ever were afraid of.
It's scary shit. Did this book give you goosebumps?
When Steve called as an old man asking for the little girl. That's not even how he phrased it, but that's all I could imagine.
So no, it didn't, but there was kind of a weird way that I started this well before I got hurt, and then I got hurt, and one of the things I did while I was in bed that first week was finish listening to this book. And that first week I was like so bad off that I was actually walking with a cane. So that made this book a little more vivid to me.
Beck told me that you were walking with a cane, and I meant to send you that like a gif or that clip of Bobby Hill when he gets his cane. I never did it.
Yeah. Oh well.
Does it come with a hat? Because I immediately thought of that when she told me that. And I was like...
That's funny. That's okay.
Missed opportunities, though.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll re-aggravate it next year. Oh, okay.
I'll just give you part of my spine, and we'll just both just have sort of okay backs.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Oh my God! Are you Stephen King? No, I'm Dean Koontz. Oh.
Kings and Koontz, for me, the King, it's real easy. I wish there was more real sequels, more continuity, more continuation of character stories. I wish that was something that R.L. Stine did more often.
I've been on it all night, but when he's an old man and he called, to me, it's just the most memorable. As an adult reading the book, it's the most memorable thing to me.
It is. It's super fun. I'm an old man, and I'd like to talk to your 13-year-old daughter. The fuck
Are
you will.
Are you one of her teachers? No, it's Steve.
Steve Boswell.
Like you're a kid. Like you don't understand. You're like, no, I'm just sitting there going, just tell him you have a bad cold. Like, do something.
That's what he told his parents.
And they bought it.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, maybe the dad probably wouldn't have bought it. But I'm sitting there going, you are approaching this in the worst possible way, young man.
Yeah. He also tried to shake a dog to death for eating cookies, so.
You son of a bitch. Now I'm an old man.
Real quick, we didn't talk about the Stinger ending. I guess it's the same Stinger ending from the first one. The only difference, I think this one is maybe slightly more effective because it's so centered on Steve that halfway through the book you completely forget that Chuck is even in there.
I also grabbed a mask.
Yeah, and like why wouldn't he have also grabbed a mask? Yeah. Okay. Koontz. O'Donnell Koontz. Deanold Koontz. The deaniest of Koontzes. I don't have like a real obvious Koontz.
I
don't know.
Huh, dead silence. Nothing, the book's perfect.
I'm gonna give a second king. I thought that I like that the symbol of love didn't work and they had to find a different way to satisfy the mask.
Yeah, because that's sort of a better.
I like the I like the idea that each of those masks is paired with a costume, and it makes me wonder what the original mask from the first book, what its costume is like.
It's the Goblin King from Lord of the Rings.
Yes, it is.
Elf friends.
Okay, for a, I guess for a Koontz, I would have liked maybe just like a little bit more on a, just sort of how the relationship between Carly Beth, but she's not the main character, so
yeah.
But like the relationship she's had with the other people, because I talked about this a little bit, like when we reviewed the first book, where I got pretty hard on Sabrina being sort of that fake friend because she knew all the times that Chuck and Steve were going to scare and just didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And I feel like, that kind of probably should also come up.
Yeah, you would have to imagine that Sabrina has matured at least a little bit because, well, she didn't have a mask on her face, but she was there. She knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Surely that would have scared her straight a little bit, but...
So, I would have liked maybe just a little bit of how, even if it was just Steve from the outside looking in, maybe commenting on how Carly Beth's relationship with her other friends have changed. Maybe her brother, maybe her mom.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more of that, so you get more of like a in-depth look of like what getting one of these masks off of you can accomplish for you.
Yeah. No, I agree. That sounds good. Yeah. I'm trying to open a new tab, but all these fucking EVs are... Okay, so let's go to rankings, and I didn't have us pulled up ahead.
That's okay.
Again, I like this book. I think it's pretty good. It's nowhere near as good as the first one. But I also think it's maybe better than some of the other Goosebumps books we've read.
Yeah. It is sort of hard because that first one is one of those gold standards for Goosebumps books.
Yeah. Rankings. Books. Okay, I think you're up first. So, and then this is your list, and then for reference, you have The Haunted Mask at number 17, and then the next Goosebumps book down you have is Attack of the Mutant at 26.
I don't like this as much as I like Werewolf of Fever Swamp, but that's mostly just because of how much I like the werewolves in it.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to put it right above Night of the Living Dummy 2, because I think this is the better sequel.
I agree. So it's your new number 36, below the Wastelands and above Night of the Living Dummy 2. I actually think I'm putting it right above Night of the Living Dummy 2 as well, which will make it, I have it just a smidge higher than you. It's my new number 34, below the Werewolf of Fever Swamp and above Night of the Living Dummy 2.
Because the books are very similar in they're easy to compare because they're both Goosebumps sequels.
Mm-hmm.
But this one we get the continuity, we get some character development from the previous book.
Yeah. No, I agree. So far it's probably my favorite Goosebumps sequel, just like period.
Yeah.
I haven't reread Night of the Living Dummy 3 yet.
I want a Werewolf of Fever Swamp too.
Yeah, why?
I know that they reference it in one of those Choose Your Own Adventure ones.
Drake and I were looking at the Goosebump books at the library yesterday, and there's a werewolf one from the Goosebumps 2000 series that I had as a kid and never read, and the art is really cool, and maybe we want to do someday. If I don't remember what it's called. I'm trying to right here.
That's cool.
Goosebumps series 2000 Full Moon Fever.
Yeah.
It's a very unique, well, I don't know it's a cool looking werewolf. And
yeah, that's a cool cover.
Yeah, it might be a cool book to read. Okay, cool. Okay, so I wrote one. Let's do different. What do you think the costume for the original mask from the first book? What do you think its accompanying costume would look like?
It's the Goblin King from The Hobbit.
Oh, yeah.
It comes with like a tiny little, like a crown like this big, like a thimble.
Mm-hmm.
It goes right on top of the head, and then it got like the little claws.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe some like little other goblin stuffies in its hands. Because you gotta have subjects if you're the king.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you sing Goblin Town as you walk down.
Down. Okay, I can't top that, so we'll just move on. All right, for further reading, instead of telling the audience what they should read if they like this book, I'm just going to ask, like, maybe someday we want to do the third one and check that out.
I'm just imagining that we're going to get a comment on our YouTube section that says, I think Night of the Living Dummy 2 is better than this.
And if that's your opinion, that is 100% fair.
It is fair.
Yeah.
I'm just imagining it.
And I'm not saying that this one is magnitudes better.
No, I mean, look at how high I ranked the original Night of the Living Mask.
Night of the Living Mask.
The Haunted Mask compared to this book.
What would happen if Slappy got possessed by a haunted mask?
R.L. Stein, write it and then give us like $5.
He's just like,
for the idea.
He's just like bitch slaps Superman and Goku. He's
Yeah.
just like, I'm unbeatable.
You guys are my slaves. Oh, that's we should commission that art.
Yes. Yes, we should. Okay, upcoming on the Horror of Babylon. This is so.
We have stuff coming up.
Stay tuned. We do have a tentative schedule for the rest of season 3, but we just live on this episode started moving things around because of Salem's Lot. So stay tuned to our socials. If you don't follow any of our socials, at least the Discord channel and the Facebook group, those are the two best places because I keep a schedule pinned in both of those, but I also occasionally post our upcoming schedule on our Twitter and our Instagram and our Facebook. So, and on Slasher and on our YouTube community tab. So check those out. We were absolutely doing, before the end of season 3, we will be reading and discussing The Hobbit, Song of Susanna, Night of the Living Dummy 3, and The Ceremonies by T.E.D. Klein. Those are the books we're doing.
I keep calling him Ted.
Ted Bundy.
Ted Klein.
But yeah, those are the books we're reading, so sorry for all the chaos, but
life happens.
Yeah, it was kind of unavoidable. So, all right. And who else is unavoidable?
Our patrons.
That didn't make a lot of sense, but thank you to Abigail the First, Breaker of Chains, Mother of Dragons, and
Logan,
the Full Metal Patron, and Ben the Fourth, Patron of Hope, and Mia the Fifth, the Rainmaker.
She makes it rain, yo.
Oh, she makes it rain. And thank you to Sierra the Sixth, the Keyblade Patron. And thank you, and Ron. Ron is good. And you can shop at Ron's store at the Morgantown Mall in Morgantown, West Virginia, the Mall at Robinson in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. You can shop online at fourhorsemen.tcgplayerpro.com. And if you make it into the store, tell Ron to take that fucking mask off because he's scaring you.
It's just my face.
Oh, and shout out to the Little Free Library of Horror in, I think it's Athol, Massachusetts. They just reached out to us on Instagram and asked if we wanted to mail some of our business cards for them to stick in the books in their Little Free Library of Horror, which I did. I put those in the mail.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so if you're in Massachusetts, definitely check them out. It's just, Little Free Libraries, but this one's scary books. Okay, cool.
It's my dream to build one of those.
I thought we should build one and just slap our logo on it. And
yeah.
I bet Ron would let us stick it in his store or find another spot. We'll do it. Maybe. All right. Thanks. Thank you for reading The Haunted Mask 2 probably 2 months ago and recording with me tonight.
It's okay. I always have a good time when I'm with you.
And thank you to our patrons. Stay tuned for our socials and stay scary.
Stay scary, everyone.
And now for the obligatory socials. Please like, share, and subscribe. You can find the podcast on Twitter at HorrorPod69. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Slasher, and Goodreads. Become part of the Disturbed community by asking for the Facebook group and Discord links. Send dick pics to the Horror of Babylon podcast at gmail.com. Support the show at patreon.com/the Horror of Babylon. In closing, you can let your friends know that The Horror of Babylon is available on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, and all other major podcast apps. Stay scary.